definitely got it. You got it.
Yeah.
It's good seeing you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Good seeing you. Welcome to an episode of Beyond the Boots. I'm your man, Boat. I'm here with my man, Daniel Walker.
That's right.
Tell the people hello,
Hello.
all that good stuff. So let's just start off. Where are you from
Originally, I'm from Seattle.
Seattle,
Yeah.
right? The West Coast.
Born in Seattle. My dad was in the Air Force.
Right.
So we moved around quite a bit. So I was born in Seattle. My brother was born in Virginia. Spent some time in Colorado. Spent some time in England. And
Well, your father was stationed in England?
yeah.
Wow.
We spent 2 years in England. So
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
So you went from Seattle and traveled around,
Yeah.
military brat, and you ended up in
Frederick, Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah, moved from. My dad got out of the Air Force. He was medically discharged. Lost a disc in his back. So
Some things run in the
yeah,
fucking
it
family.
does, man. It does. Lost a disc in his back, and we ended up in California. He got a job in the aerospace industry working for
Sweet.
McDonnell Douglas, and they transferred him out here we went from California to Frederick, Maryland.
Right.
I'm a West Coast kid.
A big
right?
culture shock. Right
Yeah,
there,
a big change, right? I lived up in Northern California for 4 years, and that was the longest I'd ever lived in one place. So coming out here to Frederick,
Yeah.
that was a trip.
Yeah. So what made? So is your father the inspiration that made you go in the military, or was it something you
He's
wanted
a
to
part
do?
of it. He's a part of it. Definitely, my family as a whole. Like a lot of the male members of my family have served. I mean, all the different branches: Navy, Marines. I lost an uncle in Vietnam, like stuff like that. So there's a history in my family of serving, and it's something I always wanted to do.
Right.
I actually tried to join the Marines right out of high school, but I had busted up my knee the first time, just a few months before I tried, and they're like, "No, you need to give your knee more time."
Right.
And then I just got on with life.
The
right?
Army
And-
took your ass. They were like,
Oh,
"We don't care.
Yeah.
Get
So-
your ass in the military."
Right.
So when'd you join the Army?
So I joined. I actually enlisted in 1999.
Okay.
I was 26 years old when I left for basic training.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, Walker. So you telling me you're 45?
I'm 43 right now.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
You look good, man.
Thanks,
You look
appreciate
good.
that.
You know, and it's a stigma that say white dudes
Oh, yeah, we don't age.
well.
No,
you
we
look
don't.
good, man.
Thanks, I appreciate
you look
that.
good. Got your hair. You got more hair than I do.
Yeah. Well, it's fading.
Right,
It's
right,
fading.
right. So you-
like it's gonna do.
So you joined at 26.
At 26. Yeah.
What made you? What did you do before you joined the
So like
military?
I said, I got on with my life right after the Marines wouldn't take me. I met my wife in high school. She went to school in Delaware for her undergraduate degree, so I followed her up there. And Delaware at the time was like the home of banking in the United States,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Every
No
bank
taxes,
is exactly.
yeah.
So I got into the financial industry, right? Worked credit cards for a little while in the retail banking, and actually got a job as a branch manager at the bank. So I was sitting around doing that for some time, and one day, I was kind of unhappy with my job because
Right.
it was an office job. I'm sitting in there, getting fat, not doing what I really like to do. I'm not a behind the desk kind of person, and got a note from my boss that said that the bank was being sold to another bank, and they don't do retail banking, so they're going to be closing all the branches. And she's like, "I'm just letting you know." She's like, "I already dropped my 2 weeks. I'm heading out to do something different." So I was like, "All right, well let me see what's going to happen," and just decided, you know what? I've always wanted to join the military. I wanted to serve. I was like, it kind of seems like that's what I really want to do with my life. So I went down and talked to the Army, and they're like, yeah.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah. So I had to go down and pass the physical
Yeah.
and take the ASVAB and stuff like that, and I aced, ASVAB and.
So now that explains you a little bit. Like I don't think I knew that
Yeah.
when we were in.
Yeah, it was interesting being an E1, E2 at 26 years old,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I had a certain level of maturity, right?
Yeah,
And by
yeah.
that time, I was married, right? I didn't have any kids, but I was married. I've been in the world, right? In a transition. I wasn't coming straight out of high school,
Right.
like a lot of kids did.
So you were past a lot of the bullshit we were already doing
Yeah.
before, and so you come around, man, these fucking kids. Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I've always been a bit adventurous.
Oh yeah, I mean you're a little childish at times,
Yeah.
but then you'll turn it back. I was like,
Yeah.
So yeah. So that explains you to those who don't know. Walker and I served at Fort Stewart, 139 Field Artillery, Charlie Battery together.
Yeah.
We deployed. We were in Iraq. So yeah, man. Now that gives me a whole different way of thinking about you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was interesting, the difference, like just going through basic training, When I went through basic training, there was only one person older than me in basic training, and he was
The drill sergeant.
No, actually, the drill sergeants were younger. Some of them were
Wow.
younger than me, right? Because you got to figure that
Yeah.
if they're fast tracking
25,
yeah,
24.
they're
Yeah.
a little younger. No, there was a guy who was a sergeant first class, and he got out and came back in. Like, I think he was out for like 4 years or something like that, and he came back in. He was kind of an old crusty sergeant, right?
Yeah.
But he was up mid 30s or just right around 30 or
And
something.
he had to
like
go
that.
back through basic
He went,
training?
yep, they made him because he was out past whatever that time frame was, and when he came back, he came back in as a sergeant. But I mean, he was a sergeant first class.
Wait, they took his rank as well?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Could you
Yeah.
imagine it?
Yeah, so this guy and I, we had a little bit of camaraderie there because
Yeah.
we're a little bit older, right? And it just, everything kind of rolled off my back, right? I didn't
Yeah.
let him get to me or anything like that. But it was funny because when we marched for graduation, he had, I mean, 'cause
Everything.
he'd been in for like 15 years and like that, so he had more service stripes and ribbons
Than
than
the-
the drill
the
sergeants.
drill sergeants, right, yeah.
So it was a trip watching him across the stage. So,
Wow,
yeah.
wow. So, what was your job in the military?
I was 13 Mike, multiple launching rocket systems crew member.
Multiple rocket launching.
Multiple launch rocket systems crew member.
MLRS.
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 Yeah.
All right, for,
That's my title. That's what, but that's not what.
yeah,
I,
we
it's
did a
not
whole
what I
bunch of
did.
things. We
Yeah.
did a whole bunch of things, and I was communications.
Right.
So I did your job. You
Yep.
know, they had me doing what you guys do
Yeah.
before. So yeah. So you're basically artillery.
Yep.
So what made you choose that?
The bonus.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
What was
they
your
weigh-
bonus?
They weighed 20,000.
20,000 and 99. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
they,
good.
They waived. I did a 6-year initial enlistment, and that's what gave me the 20,000.
Right.
And the Army College Fund. It's actually kind of funny because they messed up on my paperwork in my favor for once. The military did something, so I got obviously the Montgomery GI Bill and the Army College Fund. But when they did the Army College Fund, they had scratched out like what was normally on there and handwritten in a different amount. So it was like twice as much as what normal
Wow.
people got. And when I got out and went back to school, they had to go and pull the microfiche and everything like that because they're like, "Oh, you're
No,
paying
that's
this
not
guy
right.
money."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, no, it's there.
It's there,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
contract. It
That's
was
pretty
agreed
cool.
to." So that was like the one
Finally,
thing- yes.
someone got over on
Yeah.
the military.
Yeah.
The military has been getting over on me forever.
Oh, I
My
bet.
back, my
Yeah.
all type of pay. I'm not going to get into that
Right.
because I'll talk all day about that. So you're artillery. You go to basic training. You go to AIT.
Yeah.
Your first duty station,
Fort Stewart,
Fort Stewart.
my first and only.
What's your biggest memory about Fort Stewart?
Getting lost.
Driving around.
Driving, yeah, because when I first got there, a lot of the streets were still one way,
Right.
Like and gravel roads, like they hadn't finished repaving and doing all that modernization.
Yeah, yeah.
And trying to find, because at the time we stayed in the National Guard barracks when you were in process,
Right. Yep.
And trying to find the National Guard barracks, it was
pretty bad, yeah.
I probably spent about 2 hours driving out Fort Stewart, and it doesn't take 2 hours to get around Fort Stewart.
Yeah. No.
So
not at all.
yeah, and I don't get lost easy, so
Right.
it was kind of frustrating.
So you were married,
Yeah.
right? And so you didn't have to go through that whole thing where privates find this random woman and
No.
and get married to some
I had to-
stripper.
I had to
Right.
avoid that.
Right. Yeah, no, you didn't want to do that. That'd have been another. So how long did you stay in the military?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
So you did your initial enlistment and then you got out.
Yep.
And was that your plan in the beginning, or?
Nope. Well, I didn't. 6 years was my initial plan. I kind of thought that that's all I would do. Right? I was in there. I wanted to get the experience. I wanted to get the money for college because I was told all my life, you got to go to college, you got to get a degree, whatever. So that was kind of my initial plan. But once I got in and I was good at it and I liked it,
Yeah.
I liked the structure. Actually, before we went to Iraq, I had dropped my packet to go to Green and Gold.
Right.
Talking with Captain Hall because he did the same thing, stuff like that. I was like, you know what, this is something I want to do, right? I'm a little bit higher intellect than some of the guys that are sitting around and a little bit more responsible, So,
I'm smarter than these dumbass artillery dudes.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what he's saying.
And the other thing too is just like when we get all the butter bars come through, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we have to train them.
I got
I'm
you.
like, these numbskulls coming out
If
of the
they can do
academy,
this,
yeah.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I can definitely be a better
Yeah.
officer than these guys. So I dropped my green to gold packet, and it because of my age, like I had to complete 2 years of college, I think 2 years of college in like a year and a half.
Right.
So I started taking all these college courses, and then 9/11 happened, And I was like, well, I know we're going to deploy.
Right.
And as soon as that stuff started coming down the pipeline, I was like, there's no way I'm going to miss deploying, because I would have had a file to get, like, stay back at Fort Stewart
Right.
and stuff like that. I was like, this is what I trained for. This is what I came to do, was to go fight for my country. So
look at that.
I pulled my packet and
You're a hell of a patriot right there.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
my ass would have been in college.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, I would have been in college.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20.
Oh, isn't it, boy?
Yeah.
So what happened with your packet?
I just pulled it.
You pulled it?
Yeah, I pulled it back. So yeah, it's an interesting process, because you got to get through all these different steps, and you have to go meet with whatever school it is you want to go to, right? Because they've got to accept you. So I went. My wife at the time was going to Virginia Tech. She's a veterinarian, and they have a veterinary program up there. So
Wait, are you on your second marriage?
no, my first wife.
Oh, you said my wife at the time, like.
Oh no! At the time, she was at Virginia.
Oh,
Tech.
at the time.
Yeah,
Okay, it was
yeah.
comma.
Comma.
Okay. Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah. Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, second marriage.
No,
Okay.
no, same wife.
Okay, your wife was at.
Yeah, so she was at Virginia Tech, and Radford. Virginia Tech has a traditional military academy,
Right.
But Radford University, which is just down the road from Virginia Tech, has a military presence there as well,
Right.
an ROTC program. So I met with the commandant at Virginia Tech, because he's in charge of both programs. We hit it off really well, and he was really excited. He's like, "Yeah, prior service enlisted." He's like, "Oh, this is awesome. This will be great." And so I called them, let them know that I wouldn't be coming, and then had to go through the whole process of getting the packet pulled.
From them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
pretty cool.
It was a challenge just to get, because obviously it's got to go through your chain of command, right?
Right.
And so I had to get Sergeant Major to sign off on it, battalion commander
What did
to
he
sign
say?
off. He didn't want me to go.
Yeah.
But he pulled. So my history with Sergeant Master Commanding Sergeant Major Colbert, right?
Yeah.
Chester, right?
Chester.
it kind of goes back, because when I first got to the battalion and I checked in, I think it was Bravo Battery was headed to Kosovo.
Yeah.
Right, for that last run at
Yeah.
Kosovo, right? So I got in
Same time. So we probably got there around the same time.
probably.
Yeah.
I got stuck in the S1 shop, right? They're
Okay.
looking at me. They're like, "Okay, this guy's 26 years old. He used to be a bank manager. He knows how to work in an office
Oh, so
environment."
you know paperwork.
Yeah, so I got stuck in S1, right? So I'm sitting there working in S1 for like the first 6 months. So I worked in S1 there, and then I got to Bravo Battery. Was it Charlie Battery that went to Kosovo?
It was,
I can't remember.
It was part of people
Both,
from Charlie
both,
Battery.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever they came back, they actually got assigned me to Bravo Battery, and I spent some time in Bravo Battery, and then I went to. That was interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Then I went to Charlie, which is where we met.
Okay, yep, that's where we
But
met.
anyway, so working in S1, I got to interact with Colbert a lot.
A lot.
And at one point in time, the old guard came by, doing their recruiting, trying to find people. Yeah. So, and they have a certain body type and stuff
Yeah,
like that they want
height,
to. Yeah.
physical,
And
yeah.
I met the requirements for that, and they. So I wanted to go do that. I applied because like that sounds like an awesome gig to come
Yeah.
up here and
You'd
do
have
all
been
that.
in DC.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been back in DC. But you have to get your command sergeant major to sign off on it, and then you have to get the branch to sign off on it. Well, talk Colbert into letting me go, right? So he reluctantly signed off on it. It took
Wow.
like weeks. to,
You
like,
know,
get him
you
to
know
do
what
this.
type of relationship you had to have with him to do that? That guy
Yeah.
never did anything
Oh, yeah.
positive for me.
No, well, that was like the extent of it, right?
Yeah,
Other than
I'm
that,
saying
he
for
was-
me.
Yeah. But then Branch wouldn't let me go.
Right. Oh, wow.
They all went up to the Field Artillery Branch, and they said no. I don't know if it was because of the bonus I got or like what was going to happen with that.
It probably was
Good.
the bonus, yeah.
So they were like, no, he's not leaving. So Branch wouldn't let me go.
He
So-
owed us some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, you didn't go. So you got in 99.
Yeah.
You get to Fort Stewart. How did you feel when 9/11 happened? Like where were you?
I was on staff. I was on CQ.
So you were in the barracks.
I was in the barracks.
So I was going on staff duty that
Yeah.
morning. I was headed.
Yeah. I was coming off.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I think it was me, Shepard, and
Shepard was there. Yeah,
it was
I
somebody
recall
else.
Shepard being there.
And yeah, I remember because the early morning, like there's nothing going on.
Right.
You do all your checks. You're sitting there, you're just watching CNN, and the news hit the first plane. I was like, damn, that's terrible, right? And
Yeah.
then the second plane hit, and you're like, oh damn, like.
Oh, it's
that-
real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this isn't right, and we're just sitting there watching. And then when they said the Pentagon got hit and stuff like that, we're like, I mean, just watching the whole. I mean, it's like everybody else felt.
Yeah.
You just, it's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
You just think about everything. And my mind's instantly like, we're going somewhere.
Yeah, we're about to go. Yeah, we're about to go.
We're
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
mess somebody up
Yeah.
because this isn't right.
Yeah.
So
I recall when because we had a battalion formation, we had and Captain Luther. I was in, I had just got to Charlie Battery because
Okay.
I was in HHS first. Captain Luther, we were in the formation. Captain Luther said, "I don't know who all came in this army for college money." He said, "But your ass is going to war now." Right? I'm sure he didn't get that from his higher ups.
Yeah.
He told people, and people were crying like, "Oh, I didn't come in the army to go to war." Yeah.
it's something you prepare for,
Yeah.
but you can't really prepare for.
Yeah, but
you know?
a lot of time our recruiters said, "Oh, it hasn't been a war in years.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it." So they trick a lot of these kids.
Right.
I mean, that's their job to downplay
Oh, yeah.
the
They gotta sell it.
extremities. Yeah. But yeah, they have to. So after 9/11, when you found out we were going to Iraq, like what was going through your mind? Like, first off, we were going to Kuwait because
Right,
we
yeah.
weren't supposed to be going to war.
Yeah.
Initially.
So, the initial, like after 9/11 and all that emotional stuff that went on and stuff, there's the whole Afghanistan stuff went on.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, okay, well, it's Afghanistan, and everyone's talking, well, we're field artillery. They're not really going to need us because it's mountainous. Like,
Right.
unless they want us to like just destroy an entire mountain range,
Take out a whole mountain top.
it's not going to happen. So we're like, okay, well, it's just whatever. And then we were doing those tours in Kuwait for training purposes, right?
Yeah.
And so it was just, it kind of leaves your mind for a little bit, like the seriousness of it, right? You don't really take it like, oh, I'm going to go to combat. You guys came back from Kuwait, or Bravo Battery, sorry. Came back from Kuwait the first time. And I was on my first reconstruction in the Army on my knee when they came back. So I actually temporarily got assigned to Bravo Battery when they came back. And then I got my knee healed. I wanted to get back down range with Charlie Battery.
Oh, so you didn't come initially? I can't remember.
No,
that.
I came about 3 weeks after you guys landed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was me and oh man, there's another guy I can't remember, and I've been trying to remember his name. But
What does he look like?
He was a white guy, real funny. Like he was a joker. I think he might have been a fueler. I can't. This problem with me is I can't remember everyone's names from back then.
How did he look? Did he wear glasses?
He was shorter than me, blonde hair, a real goofball.
Simpson,
No, it wasn't
Gaylord.
Simpson. No, it wasn't any of those guys. Like he was
Okay.
like he wasn't one of the ammo guys or launcher guys. He was like a fueler or something
The
like that.
fueler
So-
we had was Bumba Clot Barnett. You remember the
Yeah, yeah.
Jamaican guy?
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other guy.
Yeah. Anyway, we flew together.
Right.
We came out because I remember him in processing, and then we caught the same flight out of Atlanta and into Kuwait and all that stuff. So we kind of hung out the entire time.
Right.
So, that's what kills me about not remembering his name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I had a stroke a few years ago.
Yeah.
So there's gaps in my memory. Like there's certain things that, like the only physical side effects that I suffered from my stroke is my memory. Right. I'm fine. I walk, talk fine. But there's like parts of stuff that they're gone. Like I can't remember what happened,
Wow.
right? Or names and stuff like that. So it's annoying. But back to your the original question about, once we were there and in the environment and stuff like that, it kind of felt more real,
Yeah.
right? And then obviously once we got the notice that we're going across the berm, I was like, wow.
Wow, yeah.
I wasn't expecting it, right? I told my wife, I'm gonna be gone 6 months.
Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's nothing like that. And I had my daughter by that time and was born. She was born in 2002. So, writing her letters and stuff like that, and just the whole thought of not coming back started to get real.
Right.
And this is my wife and I now. We've been together since we got married in 2000, but we dated in high school, so we've been together over 20 years now.
Man,
So,
you've been with the same woman since high school.
yeah.
They don't make you people like you anymore, man.
Few and far
yeah,
between.
Yeah. You got good blood, man.
Yeah.
You don't have any
Oh,
tainted
she's-
blood. Yeah.
She's amazing.
You're a God-fearing George Bush voting America right here, man.
Let's not go politics.
No. We're not going to do
That's
that. We're
good.
not going to do that. I was just joking with you.
Yeah.
You said she's a good woman, huh? Yeah, I mean, she was with you through all of that, man. And you know, shout out to Mrs. Walker. You know, that's pretty dope to stick with your man through those times, because a lot of guys lost their spouses.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
went
yeah.
through a lot of tough stuff. So yeah, man. So what's your craziest or fondest moment from the military?
Of the military as a whole.
Just your entire experience. What's your fondest or funniest or craziest moment? Like something that when you think about being in the Army, what's the first memory that always comes to your mind?
Oh man,
The one story that you tell often.
I don't talk about my experiences a whole lot,
Right.
right? No real reason. Just
Yeah.
a lot of people don't ask me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not. I don't wear my
right.
military stuff. I don't have stickers all over my car. Like, I'm real subdued about my service.
Okay.
The first thought that comes back to my head about the whole thing is when we landed and walking across that parade field.
Back. Oh man.
And seeing my daughter and my wife, and
Wow.
that's the thing that sticks in my head, and that's really the turning point in my military career, because when I left, my daughter was in my, like, barely fit in my hands, right?
Yeah.
She was so small, and when I came back, she was walking and starting to talk.
Wow.
And missing
you missed
that
all of that.
chunk of her.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a small chunk, right? I mean, not a small chunk. We were almost a year. We were gone. But missing that part of her life, but yeah, just walking across the parade field and finding my wife and my daughter.
Is that when you decided, you can't do it anymore? You don't
That's when I decided, yeah, I'm done. I just want to do my 6 and get out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to miss any more of my daughter's life. I was
Right.
like, it's too much, right?
So all in all, with everything we've talked about, would you do it again?
Yep. In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
I go back now.
My man. All right, that's another episode of Beyond the Boots. I'm your man, Bo. Give it up for my man, Daniel Walker. I appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.